Cathy McLeish here, Alcoholism Unpacked. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've been sober 38 years now. I had an anniversary in between these videos at some point here this last month. And I want to talk to you about alcoholism, and do you maybe think it's robbing a little bit from your life? Because you don't have to go all the way down like I did and some other people do. You can get off that elevator at any time and take your life back. And maybe that means setting alcohol down and saying, you know what, it doesn't work for me. And so I got a test for you, a 3-part test. We're going to see if alcohol works for us. On the first part of the test, we're just going to do a pro-con list. Don't make it harder than it is, just 5 minutes. Write down on one side of the piece of paper, alcohol is working, alcohol isn't working. And then underneath those 2 columns, write how it's working. Is it working for me? Am I doing better at my job? Am I a better spouse? Am I a better mother? And on the other side, we're going to write down, how is it not working for me? Is it sucking all the finances out of our home? Is it messing with my relationships? Am I very unpredictable? Is it a roller coaster kind of thing with anxiety, depression, what I want to do, what I can accomplish, what's not getting done because I can't predict what's going to happen after I take the first drink? On that pros and cons list, just try to be as honest as you can be. But again, don't make it harder than it is. Set that aside and let's go to part 2. Part 2 is I'm just going to ask 2 people that care about me. It's not going to be 2 people that I drink with, because back towards the end, if I would have gone to Patsy and said, hey, Patsy, you think I got a drinking problem? You think alcohol is a problem in my life? She would certainly say no. 1, she would lose her drinking buddy. And 2, that would mean Patsy might have a problem with alcohol. So we're going to ask people that maybe have no connection to our drinking other than they're observing it and maybe paying some consequences for it. We're going to ask maybe a parent, a spouse, a sibling, and say, do you think alcohol could be a problem? Do you see any red flags about me and my drinking? So that's part number 2 of the test. And part number 3 of the test is, let's just take a few days off. Let's take a few days off from drinking and see how that feels. Is it hard? Is it easy? Now, if I'm a binge drinker, and by definition, I would say binge drinking in this scenario is, I don't drink for a month or 6 weeks or whatever, and then when I drink, I have a problem. Alcohol is a problem. That's binge drinking. So on this part number 3, if you take a week off, it's not a big deal for you because you binge drink. That's why I'm going to say on this test, you only have to get 2 out of 3 right to maybe be wrong as far as alcohol goes. And if you think that is wrong or bad, you have this misconception that we have as drinkers, that alcohol is our solution when alcohol is actually a big part of our problem. And I didn't see that till I was on the other side. Alcohol got to be such a problem that I had to step away. I couldn't see it because I was looking at my alcoholism and hiding it behind someone else's that was drinking, my spouse that I was married to at the time. And so I could not see the truth. And that, you don't have to be married to an alcoholic to not be able to see the truth about your drinking. It is part of the disease. Part of the disease is denial, and we cannot see what is right in front of us. And that is the damage that alcohol does to our relationships, to our health, to our mental, physical, spiritual well-being. It is doing a lot of damage, and we are the last to know. Again, until I got away from it for 30 days, 90 days, I could not see that it was a huge part of my problem and not my solution. So when we go to step number 3 or part number 3 of this test, we're just going to try and stay away from it for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. You figure it out. If you think you don't have a problem, maybe it'll be easy to go a week. But if you go a week and it is on your mind and you can't wait till that week's over, and you are even having maybe a few withdrawal symptoms, nervousness, anxiety, then maybe alcohol is something you should put on the shelf for a little bit and see what happens. That's what I had to do. And it was one of the best decisions that I could make because, first of all, I just couldn't see the truth while I was drinking. And second of all, it opened a whole new door. In fact, I got my life back. And I was only 27 when I quit drinking, but I can remember my life with alcohol like it was yesterday because that's the prison that I was in. And when I broke free of it, all kinds of doors opened up, a beautiful new life, healthier relationships, the prospect for doing and being whatever I wanted in my career. So don't cheat yourself. Don't cheat yourself for something that maybe if you look on that piece of paper, actually is not really working in your favor anymore. It certainly wasn't for me. So, Cathy McLeish, Alcoholism Unpacked. Take that test, 1, 2, 3. First, we're just doing a little pro-con list. Second, we're asking 2 people that actually care about us and want good for us. What do they see about our drinking? And third, we're going to try and go for a little bit, 2 days, 4 days without drinking and see if it has any effect, negative or positive, on our life. So good luck, keep coming back, and I am Cathy McLeish. Subscribe, follow Alcoholism Unpacked, just trying to raise a little awareness and break through this stigma that alcoholism, being on the other side, not drinking, is a bad thing. It's not. It's nothing to be ashamed of. In fact, it will be one of the biggest breakthroughs you may have in your life, even if you haven't gone so far down that you would call yourself an alcoholic. Maybe alcohol is just stealing from you, day by day, a piece at a time, and you want that back. Take it back. Cathy McLeish.